Good morning. We finished another work week for most because today is Saturday, the 17th of January, and our reading is from John 17:13. Now I'm coming to you, and I say these things while I'm in the world so they can share completely in my joy. Now, I mentioned earlier in the week about the fact that John 17 is actually the Lord's Prayer and that he prays for us for protection from the evil one. But here he is also saying that when he goes home to be with the Father, that's a blessing we know from elsewhere, that he goes to prepare a place for us, that we can share in his joy that he's completed the work of the cross, that he's at home with the Father, that he's interceding for us, that he's preparing a place for us. And our joy is knowing that one day we will be with him, that he provides for us. And that joy needed to be a comfort to the disciples because they were going to be suffering for him. After all, they were all martyred, with the possible exception of John. But they knew that they would be going home to be with him. And there are Christians all over the world that are suffering for Christ and experiencing martyrdom, and they immediately go home to be with him. And we go through trials in our lives. And as we get older, some of those may be health trials. But we know that sooner or later, we're going to go home to be with him, either because we go home or because he raptures and takes the church out of here, which, as I've said numerous times, I'm voting for. And as I say numerous times, he hasn't asked my opinion. But we can find joy in the midst of all of this, and the joy of knowing how the book ends, how our life ends, because we've read the ending, because we've read in the New Testament the promises for us, absent from the body, present with the Lord. So there's a lot of things to rejoice over. And so maybe gray outside, it may be raining, it may be cold, you may suffer from mild SAD, seasonal affective disorder, but in dependency on the Spirit and asking him, you can at the same time experience joy, knowing how this is all going to come to an end in God's presence, and hearing God say, well done, and wiping away every tear. And so even today, have a joy-filled day, and I'll see you again tomorrow, the Lord's Day.